In a world overflowing with fleeting trends, where emotions can often feel like a storm dragging us in every direction, have you ever wondered how to truly stand out? Not just as another face in the crowd, but as someone who is deeply respected, admired, and yes, valued by the people who matter most. Especially in your relationships, where genuine connection seems like a rare gem, wouldn't you want to be the one who captures her attention effortlessly, leaving a lasting impression without saying too much? Here's the truth. Many believe that winning someone's admiration comes from loud declarations, flashy gestures, or constantly being available. But what if I told you that the real power lies in silence, the kind of silence that speaks volumes about who you are, a confident, composed, and self-assured individual? Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, holds the keys to unlocking this power. Through mastering subtle silent actions, you can transform not only how you perceive yourself, but how she sees you. In this journey, we'll explore 10 profound yet practical actions rooted in Stoic wisdom. These aren't tricks or gimmicks. They're principles that will help you exude authenticity, command respect, and make her value you on a deeper level. Let's begin by revealing the foundation of it all, how you carry yourself with pride. Stay with me, because by the time we finish, you won't see relationships the same way again. 1. Carry yourself with pride. Imagine walking into a room and before you say a single word, all eyes subtly gravitate toward you. Not because you're wearing the flashiest clothes or putting on a show, but because you exude an aura of quiet confidence. Have you ever noticed how some people can make an impression simply by the way they hold themselves? This isn't luck or coincidence, it's the mastery of carrying oneself with pride. Now, let's get something straight. Pride isn't about arrogance. It's not about being better than anyone else or demanding attention. It's about recognizing your intrinsic value and letting that guide every step you take. Now think about it. When you know your worth, why would you need to prove it? This silent assurance is magnetic. She'll feel drawn to you because you're not trying too hard and you're not conforming to anyone's expectations. But how do you develop this sense of pride? It starts with authenticity. Have you ever found yourself changing your behavior, your likes, or even your style just to impress someone? Maybe you tried to pick up hobbies you didn't care for, or forced yourself into conversations you weren't interested in, all for a fleeting nod of approval. Here's the reality. People see through that, and worse, you'll feel disconnected from your true self. The most attractive version of you is the one that embraces your quirks, passions, and values wholeheartedly. Let's take a real-world example. Imagine two men in a social setting. One is loud, constantly trying to dominate the conversation, sharing stories that feel exaggerated. The other, he speaks less but with intention. He listens, makes thoughtful contributions, and doesn't feel the need to fill every silence with noise. Which one do you think leaves a lasting impression? It's almost always the one who lets his actions and authenticity speak for themselves. Carrying yourself with pride also means respecting your own time and energy. Have you ever stopped to consider how you treat yourself? If you're constantly doubting your worth, criticizing your choices, or bending over backward for others, you're setting a precedent for how others will treat you. She'll notice if you don't respect yourself, even if you don't say it out loud. Conversely, when you hold yourself in high regard, people naturally start to reflect that same respect back to you. Here's another powerful truth. Pride comes from owning your imperfections. No one is perfect, and pretending to be is exhausting. Instead, what if you embraced your flaws, that scar from an old mistake, that slightly awkward laugh, or even the time you failed at something meaningful? They all tell a story. And guess what? Those stories make you human, relatable, and real. She'll value you more because you're comfortable in your skin, imperfections and all. Now let's talk about the role of composure. Life will test you, and how you handle those tests says a lot about who you are. Imagine facing a difficult situation in front of her, maybe an argument, a mistake, or an unexpected setback. Do you react impulsively, letting emotions drive your actions? Or do you take a breath, assess the situation, and respond with calm confidence? The latter shows maturity and self-control, traits that Stoicism teaches us to cultivate. I shall see you as someone who can handle challenges with grace, someone she can trust to stay steady when life gets turbulent. As we close this first lesson, I want you to reflect on your own life. How do you carry yourself in your daily interactions? Are you walking tall with a quiet sense of pride? Or are you letting external opinions shape your identity? The journey to becoming someone she values starts with how you value yourself. And the best part, this transformation is entirely within your control. Stick around, because in the next part we'll dive into the art of mastering nonverbal communication, a skill that can amplify everything we've just discussed. If this resonates with you, don't forget to like and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's hear how you've embraced this principle in your life, or where you're looking to improve. Stay tuned, because things are just getting started. 2. Master nonverbal communication. They say actions speak louder than words, but have you ever considered the power of silence? In a world where everyone is eager to express themselves through endless texts, selfies, and social media updates, mastering nonverbal communication can set you apart like nothing else. The way you carry yourself, your posture, your eye contact, even your pauses can communicate a depth and confidence that words often fail to convey. And trust me, she'll notice. Think about it. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt drawn to someone without even speaking to them? Maybe it was the way they held their head high, or how their calm, composed demeanor radiated assurance. This is the subtle art of nonverbal communication, and it's one of the most powerful tools in your arsenal. Let's break it down. First, consider your posture. When you stand or sit with a straight back, shoulders relaxed but not slouched, and head held high, you're sending a message. I'm confident, I'm present, and I'm in control. Conversely, a hunched posture with downward-facing eyes can signal insecurity or a lack of self-awareness. The next time you find yourself in her presence, check in with your body language. Are you open and engaged, or are you shrinking into yourself? Then there's the matter of eye contact. Maintaining steady, natural eye contact shows that you're attentive, interested, and unafraid of connection. It's not about staring intensely, that can feel invasive, but about looking at her with genuine curiosity and warmth. In moments of silence, let your eyes do the talking. They can convey respect, intrigue, and even vulnerability without uttering a word. Now let's touch on one of the most underrated aspects of nonverbal communication: timing. In conversations, do you rush to fill every pause? Silence, when used effectively, can be incredibly powerful. A well-timed pause after she says something meaningful shows that you're truly considering her words, rather than just waiting for your turn to speak. It creates a space for reflection, drawing her in deeper. Another crucial element is your personal space. Respecting her physical and emotional boundaries without being told demonstrates a high level of emotional intelligence. Lean in when the moment calls for intimacy, but know when to pull back, giving her room to breathe and think. This balance of presence and restraint creates a dynamic where she feels both safe and intrigued. Your physical appearance also plays a role in nonverbal communication, but not in the way you might think. It's not about wearing the most expensive suit or having a perfectly groomed appearance. Instead, it's about presenting yourself in a way that reflects self-respect. A clean, simple, and well put together look says, I take care of myself, and I take this interaction seriously. It's the Stoic approach. No unnecessary embellishments, just a polished, authentic representation of who you are. Lastly, emotional control is a cornerstone of nonverbal mastery. Life throws curveballs, and how you react, especially in front of her, can either elevate or diminish her perception of you. If you can maintain composure during tense moments, whether it's a heated discussion or an unexpected challenge, you show that you're not easily swayed by external circumstances. This calm, steady energy is incredibly attractive because it signals reliability and strength. The beauty of nonverbal communication is its subtlety. Unlike spoken words, which can be forgotten or misunderstood, the messages you send with your body and presence linger in her mind, painting a picture of who you are at your core. And the best part, this form of communication is entirely within your control. Once you've mastered it, you'll find that people, including her, respond to you in a way that words alone could never achieve. 3. Know your true value. Have you ever felt like your worth was tied to how others see you? Perhaps you sought validation through the compliments, attention, or even social media likes. It's a common trap in today's world, but here's the reality. Your true value has nothing to do with external validation. It lies in who you are, your character, your principles, and how you live them out daily. When you fully grasp this, everything changes. Imagine you're a rare gemstone. Not everyone who sees you will recognize your value. Some might pass by without a second glance, while others will marvel at your uniqueness. But whether someone acknowledges your worth or not doesn't diminish it. You remain the same, a rare, precious gem. This is the mindset you must adopt. Your value is constant, not contingent on anyone else's recognition. Stoicism teaches us that self-worth is entirely within our control. It's built upon our virtues, qualities like kindness, honesty, resilience, and integrity. These are the pillars of a life well lived, and they're what truly make you valuable in the eyes of others, especially her. Ask yourself, what qualities define you? Are you empathetic, reliable, or fiercely driven? These traits form the foundation of your worth, and recognizing them is the first step to embodying them fully. Rejection and criticism are inevitable in life. You might face moments when you feel overlooked or undervalued, particularly in relationships. But here's the Stoic perspective. Those moments are not reflections of your true worth. They're opportunities to reaffirm your commitment to your principles. When you encounter rejection, instead of letting it shake your confidence, use it as a moment of reflection. Ask yourself, did I act in alignment with my values? If the answer is yes, then you have nothing to regret. Knowing your true value also changes the way you interact in relationships. When you deeply respect yourself, you won't tolerate poor treatment, not out of arrogance, but out of a quiet assurance that you deserve better. This self-respect naturally sets boundaries without you having to announce them. She will sense that you're not someone who compromises easily on what truly matters. Let's consider an exercise. The next time you feel undervalued or overlooked, pause and reflect on the virtues you bring to the situation. Remind yourself of your unique qualities and let those be your anchor. This isn't about inflating your ego, but about staying grounded in reality. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The beauty of embracing your true value is that it radiates outward. When you genuinely believe in your worth, others begin to see it too. It changes the energy you bring into a room, making you more magnetic and respected. And in relationships, this inner confidence is what makes her value you. She'll be drawn not just to what you say or do, but to the unshakable foundation of who you are. Understanding your value is not a one-time realization, but a daily practice. Each day presents opportunities to live out your virtues and reinforce your self-worth. When you master this, you stop seeking validation from others because you already know your worth. This is the kind of silent power that Stoicism teaches, and it's what makes you stand out in a world where many are still searching for external approval. 4. The power of saying no. Have you ever found yourself agreeing to something you didn't want to do just to keep the peace or avoid conflict? Maybe it was a favor that stretched your limits, or a decision in a relationship that didn't sit well with you. In the moment, saying yes might seem easier. It avoids discomfort and keeps things smooth. But over time, these small compromises can chip away at your self-respect and erode the very foundation of your personal boundaries. Now, imagine the opposite. Imagine the quiet confidence of someone who knows when to say no. This isn't about being difficult or uncooperative. It's about staying true to your principles. Saying no is one of the most powerful actions you can take, especially in relationships. It demonstrates self-respect, clarity, and a deep understanding of your own value. And here's the secret. When you master this art, you don't push people away, you make them value you more. Think about it. Have you ever admired someone who could turn down an invitation or a request without hesitation, without apology? It's not because they're cold or indifferent, but because they know their limits and priorities. This person respects themselves enough to guard their time, energy, and values. As she will notice this, When you say no to something that compromises your boundaries, you're sending a clear message. I know my worth, and I'm not afraid to protect it. Saying no doesn't mean shutting down opportunities or isolating yourself. It means being intentional about what you say yes to. When you agree to something, it should align with your values and bring positive energy into your life. In a relationship, this could mean declining a request that doesn't feel right, or standing firm when faced with pressure to compromise on something important to you. These moments define your character, and they'll make her see you as someone who isn't easily swayed by external pressures. But let's be real, saying no isn't always easy. It can feel uncomfortable, especially if you fear disappointing someone or creating tension. Here's where Stoicism comes in. This philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control, our actions and decisions, and let go of the rest. You can't control how someone will react to your no, but you can control how you deliver it. A calm, respectful no shows maturity and confidence, even if it's met with resistance. Picture this scenario. She suggests something that doesn't align with your values or comfort zone. Maybe it's a lifestyle choice, a decision about the relationship, or simply how you spend your time. Instead of going along with it to keep her happy, you pause and think, is this something that truly aligns with who you are? And if not, you respectfully decline. It might be challenging in the moment, but over time she'll come to respect you for it. She'll see that you're not someone who sacrifices their integrity for the sake of convenience. What's fascinating is that the power of saying no extends beyond the relationship itself. It affects how you view yourself. Every time you uphold your boundaries, you reinforce your own self-worth. You prove to yourself that you're willing to stand up for what matters, even when it's uncomfortable. This self-assurance radiates outward, making you more attractive and respected not just by her, but by everyone around you. Let's pause for a moment. How often do you find yourself saying yes out of obligation, fear, or habit? So what would change if you started to say no more often, not out of defiance, but out of self-respect? Reflect on this. And if you've ever had a moment where saying no transformed a situation or relationship, share it in the comments below. Your experiences could inspire others who are navigating similar challenges. And if this idea resonates with you, let's hear your thoughts. How do you plan to incorporate the power of no into your life? Don't forget to like this post if you're finding value in these insights. Every interaction helps us continue exploring these transformative Stoic principles together. 5. Actions speak louder than words. That we live in a world where words are often cheap. Promises are made in moments of passion, grand declarations are shared on social media, and sweet talk can make your head spin. But here's the reality. Words without action are empty. They may sound good, but they fail to leave a lasting impact. True value lies in what you do, not in what you say. And when it comes to relationships, this principle is crucial. Imagine you're getting to know someone and they say all the right things. They talk about how much they value honesty, yet they avoid difficult conversations. They promise to always be there for you but fail to show up when it matters. Over time, their words start to feel hollow. Now think about how this applies to you. Are you someone who follows through on your commitments? When you say you'll do something, do you back it up with action? In relationships, your actions define your reliability and trustworthiness. If you tell her you value her, it's not enough to say the words, you need to show it in the small, consistent ways. It could be as simple as remembering important details she shares with you, supporting her during a tough time, or honoring your promises, no matter how small. These gestures create a sense of security and authenticity that words alone can't achieve. Stoicism teaches us to value practical wisdom, or phronesis, which means making decisions based on rational thought and aligning our actions with our values. When you embody this, your behavior naturally reflects your integrity. She'll see that you're someone who doesn't just talk about virtues like honesty, loyalty, or respect. You live them. And this consistency is what builds deep, lasting trust. It's not just about grand gestures either. Sometimes the most powerful actions are the quiet ones. Holding space for her when she's upset, showing patience in moments of frustration, or simply being present when you're together. These small actions speak volumes. They show her that you're genuinely invested, not just when it's convenient or easy, but all the time. Moreover, paying close attention to her actions rather than just her words can offer valuable insights. If someone consistently aligns their actions with their promises, it's a sign of authenticity. On the other hand, discrepancies between words and deeds can signal a lack of alignment or sincerity. Recognizing this helps you navigate relationships with clarity and wisdom. Finally, consider this. When you prioritize action over words, you raise the bar not only for yourself but for those around you. People will recognize that they can't win your trust through charming speeches alone. They need to show up, just as you do. Sets a powerful standard for any relationship, creating a dynamic built on mutual respect and authenticity. 6. Know when to walk away. Walking away. It's one of the hardest decisions we face, yet also one of the most liberating. Whether it's a toxic relationship, an unfulfilling connection, or a dynamic that simply no longer aligns with your values, knowing when to leave is an act of immense strength. It's not about giving up or being cold. It's about understanding your worth and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. Why do we often cling to relationships that don't serve us? Fear is a big reason. Fear of loneliness, fear of starting over, or fear of losing someone we've invested so much time and energy in. But here's the truth. Staying in a situation that undermines your well-being or principles can do far more damage than the discomfort of leaving. Stoicism reminds us to focus on what we can control, our own actions and choices. You can't force someone to change, nor can you alter the fundamental dynamics of a relationship that's misaligned. What you can do is choose to walk away when the situation no longer reflects your values. Walking away isn't just an escape, it's a profound affirmation of your self-respect. It says, I value myself enough to leave what no longer serves me, even if it's difficult. This decision is an exercise in courage and wisdom. It shows that you're not afraid of uncertainty because you trust in your ability to navigate it. So think about the power of this in a relationship context. When you stay in a relationship because it aligns with your principles and brings you genuine happiness, it's a choice made from strength, not fear. Conversely, if you're staying out of obligation, fear of change, or hope that things will magically improve, you're compromising your values. Walking away in such cases clears the path for growth and better opportunities, both for you and for her. Of course, not every challenging moment in a relationship calls for an exit. There's a difference between facing temporary difficulties and enduring a situation that fundamentally goes against your well-being or integrity. Stoicism teaches the importance of discernment, knowing when to persevere and when to let go. When you make the decision to walk away, it's not impulsive or reactive. It's measured, thoughtful, and grounded in self-awareness. And here's the most powerful part. Walking away doesn't mean closing the door forever. It simply means you're prioritizing your values and well-being in the present moment. Sometimes creating distance can lead to reflection and growth on both sides. Whether or not you reconnect later, the act of stepping away reinforces your self-worth and reminds both you and her of what truly matters. Walking away, when done with grace and clarity, isn't an ending, it's a new beginning. It creates space for healthier connections, deeper self-understanding, and a life that aligns with your principles. It's a declaration that you're not afraid to choose what's best for you, even when it's hard. 7. Set boundaries without words. There's a quiet power in setting boundaries without ever needing to say a word. Imagine walking through life with such a strong sense of self-respect and clarity that people naturally understand what you will and won't tolerate. This kind of silent assertion isn't about playing games or creating distance. It's about living in a way that aligns with your values so deeply that your boundaries become self-evident. And when she sees this, trust me, she'll respect you even more. Let's dive into how this works. Setting boundaries often conjures up images of difficult conversations or drawn-out debates. But the most effective boundaries are those communicated through actions. If someone cancels on you repeatedly or disrespects your time, how do you respond? Do you let it slide, or do you calmly adjust your availability, subtly signaling that you value your time too much to waste it? Actions speak louder than words when it comes to boundaries. Consider this scenario. She arrives late to plans without giving notice. Instead of getting visibly upset or having a long discussion, you adjust your schedule next time. Maybe you keep your commitments flexible, or you politely decline plans if punctuality becomes a recurring issue. These quiet shifts in behavior send a clear message. I respect my time, and I expect others to do the same. Another example is emotional boundaries. If someone brings unnecessary drama into your life, you don't need to declare, "I won't tolerate this." Instead, you can choose to disengage from those situations calmly. You don't feed into the drama, you don't overreact. Over time, they'll notice that their usual tactics don't work with you. Your silence and detachment do all the talking. Physical boundaries work similarly. If you value personal space or don't appreciate certain behaviors, you subtly adjust your body language or environment. You don't lean in when you don't feel comfortable. You don't stay in situations that cross your limits. She'll observe how you protect your space and understand where your lines are drawn, even without a single word. Why is this so effective? Because it demonstrates consistency and authenticity. Words can sometimes feel forced or performative, but actions reveal your true character. When you live in alignment with your values, people naturally start to respect your boundaries because they see that you respect yourself. It's a quiet strength that's hard to ignore. The beauty of silent boundaries is that they don't create unnecessary tension or conflict. There's no need for defensive arguments or heated exchanges. You simply live your life in a way that reflects your values, and the people around you adjust accordingly. And those who don't, they either learn to respect your limits or they naturally distance themselves, making room for healthier connections. Think about how transformative this could be in your relationships. When she realizes that your boundaries are firm but communicated with respect and grace, she'll feel safe and secure with you. She'll know that she's with someone who values himself and, by extension, values the relationship. It's a dynamic built on mutual respect and understanding. Now let's turn it over to you. Have you ever set a boundary without words? Maybe it was through your actions, your demeanor, or even your silence. How did it change the dynamic of your relationship? I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. And if this resonates with you, don't forget to like this post. Your engagement not only helps us explore these ideas together, but also empowers others to embrace the quiet strength of setting boundaries with integrity. 8. Never chase after someone. Picture this. You're getting to know someone and everything seems to be going well. Then suddenly the energy shifts, they pull away, become distant, or seem less invested. Your instinct might be to chase after them, to try to close the growing gap. But here's the truth. Chasing someone who is pulling away rarely, if ever, leads to the outcome you want. In fact, it often has the opposite effect, making you appear less confident and more dependent. Stoicism teaches us a powerful lesson here. Focus only on what you can control. You cannot control someone else's feelings, actions, or decisions. What you can control is your response, and the most dignified, self-respecting response when someone starts to drift. Let them go. This isn't about being cold or indifferent, it's about maintaining your self-worth and trusting that if they truly value you, they'll return of their own accord. Why is this approach so effective? Because confidence and independence are inherently attractive. When you refrain from chasing, you send a clear message. I know my value, and I won't compromise it by seeking validation from someone who isn't reciprocating. This kind of quiet assurance piques curiosity and respect. She'll begin to see you not as someone desperate for her attention, but as someone who values himself enough to walk away if necessary. Let's take a deeper look at the dynamics of chasing. When you pursue someone who's pulling away, you inadvertently hand them control over your emotions and your sense of worth. You become reactive, basing your happiness on their actions or lack thereof. This dynamic creates an imbalance where your value in the relationship diminishes because it appears that you need them more than they need you. By stepping back, you shift the power back to yourself. You're no longer a pursuer but a confident individual who knows their worth. It's also worth noting that chasing rarely changes someone's mind. If their interest or commitment is waning, chasing them won't ignite it. In fact, it may confirm their decision to pull away. On the other hand, your calm and composed reaction might prompt them to reconsider. They'll see that you're not dependent on them for your sense of identity or happiness, which can be both refreshing and intriguing. Now, here's where Stoicism offers a profound insight. The ability to let go gracefully is a form of emotional freedom. When you're no longer tied to the outcome of a relationship, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and anxiety. You begin to see relationships as a complement to your life, not as the source of your worth or happiness. Shift in perspective empowers you to navigate connections with confidence and peace of mind. Ultimately, never chasing after someone isn't about playing hard to get or manipulating outcomes. It's about staying true to your values and maintaining your dignity. It's about recognizing that the right person will value you for who you are without needing to be convinced or pursued. And when you embody this mindset, you naturally attract people who respect and appreciate you. 9. Embrace change with grace. Change is inevitable. It's a constant force in life, and nowhere is this more evident than in relationships. Feelings evolve, circumstances shift, and sometimes the dynamics that once felt so stable can begin to transform. The question is, how do you respond when change comes knocking? Do you resist it, clinging to the familiar, or do you embrace it with grace and resilience? Stoicism offers a powerful perspective on change. Instead of fearing or resisting it, Stoics teach us to see change as an opportunity for growth and learning. This mindset can be a game changer in relationships. When you approach change with openness, you demonstrate emotional maturity and adaptability, qualities that make you a rock in any partnership. Now think about this. Have you ever been in a relationship where things started to shift? Maybe it was external, new jobs, relocations, or life's unexpected curveballs. Or perhaps it was internal, a shift in feelings, priorities, or perspectives. The natural reaction might be to resist these changes, to try and force things back to how they used to be. But resistance often leads to tension and conflict. It's like trying to hold back the tide with your hands, exhausting and ultimately futile. Instead, embracing change means accepting it as a natural part of life. When you face transitions with grace, you show that you're not afraid of uncertainty. This doesn't mean you have to love every change or pretend that challenges don't affect you. It simply means you acknowledge the reality of the situation and focus on what you can control, your attitude and your actions. Imagine you're in a relationship and life throws a major change your way. Perhaps one of you needs to move for work, or your personal goals start to diverge. Rather than seeing this as the end, you view it as an opportunity to grow individually and as a couple. You discuss the changes openly, adapt your plans, and remain supportive of each other's journeys. This approach not only strengthens your bond, but also shows her that you're someone who can handle life's unpredictability with poise. Embracing change also means letting go of attachment to specific outcomes. Stoicism teaches the value of detachment, not in the sense of being cold or distant, but in not clinging too tightly to how things should be. This mindset allows you to fully appreciate the present moment without being consumed by fear of the future. In relationships, this creates a sense of freedom and trust. She'll feel that she can grow and evolve with you, rather than being trapped by rigid expectations. It's important to note that embracing change doesn't mean passivity. You're not simply letting life happen to you. Instead, you're actively engaging with change, using it as a catalyst for reflection and growth. When you approach challenges with curiosity and a willingness to learn, you set a powerful example. She'll see you as a partner who can navigate life's ups and downs with strength and optimism. At its core, embracing change with grace is about resilience. It's about trusting in your ability to adapt and thrive, no matter what life throws your way. And when you live with this mindset, you become a steady, grounding presence in any relationship, a trait that's both rare and deeply valued. 10. Develop healthy skepticism. In the early stages of getting to know someone, it's easy to get swept up in the excitement of connection. They might say all the right things, painting a picture of a perfect future, and you find yourself wanting to believe every word. But here's the reality. Not everyone who walks into your life has the same level of sincerity. This is where healthy skepticism becomes your greatest ally. It's not about being cynical or distrusting. It's about staying grounded in reality and ensuring that actions align with words. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of seeing things as they are, not as we wish them to be. In relationships, this means taking the time to observe and understand someone's true character. Words can be powerful, but they're also easy to manipulate. Actions, on the other hand, rarely lie. When someone tells you they value honesty, do their actions reflect that? When they speak of commitment, do they consistently show up and follow through? Healthy skepticism allows you to navigate relationships with a balanced perspective. It encourages you to listen attentively, but also to observe carefully. For instance, if she promises to be supportive during a tough time, but repeatedly cancels plans or avoids deeper conversations, it's a sign to reevaluate. Your time and emotional energy are valuable, and healthy skepticism helps you protect both. This principle isn't about grilling someone with endless questions or constantly doubting their intentions. Instead, it's about approaching relationships with curiosity and patience. You're not rushing to conclusions or projecting your hopes onto the other person. Instead, you're letting the relationship unfold naturally while keeping an eye on consistency. Think about it this way. Healthy skepticism is like a filter that helps you separate genuine connection from surface-level charm. It gives you the clarity to recognize red flags early on, and the wisdom to avoid investing in relationships that don't align with your values. At the same time, it helps you appreciate and trust those who consistently demonstrate sincerity and respect. One of the greatest benefits of developing this mindset is the protection it offers for your emotional well-being. By maintaining a healthy level of skepticism, you avoid the pitfalls of blind trust, which can lead to disappointment and heartache. Instead, you build relationships on a foundation of mutual respect and understanding, ensuring that both partners are fully invested. This practice also reinforces your self-worth. When you take the time to evaluate someone's actions, you're essentially saying, "I value myself enough to ensure that this relationship is built on authenticity." This quiet confidence doesn't go unnoticed. She'll see that you're not someone who jumps into relationships impulsively or blindly. You're intentional, thoughtful, and grounded. It's also worth mentioning that healthy skepticism fosters better communication. When you observe inconsistencies, you can address them calmly and directly, opening the door for honest discussions. This not only strengthens the relationship, but also helps both partners grow. In the end, healthy skepticism isn't about creating barriers, it's about building bridges that are sturdy and reliable. It ensures that your relationships are rooted in reality, allowing them to flourish authentically. And when you embody this mindset, you become someone who is not only deeply valued, but also deeply respected. As we wrap up this journey through the 10 silent actions that can make her value you, it's clear that each principle is interconnected. Together, they form a powerful framework for building authentic, meaningful relationships. From carrying yourself with pride to embracing change with grace, these actions aren't about manipulation or superficial charm. They're about cultivating self-respect, emotional resilience, and genuine connection. The beauty of this approach is that it's entirely within your control. You don't need to rely on grand gestures or external validation to be valued. Instead, by mastering these silent actions, you naturally command respect and admiration. She'll see you as someone who is confident, composed, and deeply authentic, a partner worth cherishing. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these principles resonates with the most? Have you already started incorporating some of them into your life? Or is there one you're particularly excited to try? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found value in this discussion, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with others who might benefit from these insights. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Remember, personal growth is a continuous process, and each step you take brings you closer to becoming the best version of yourself. Until next time, take care, stay grounded, and keep embracing your inner stoic.